Welcome back. Spoiler, warning, trigger warning. I don't know what I'm saying right now. The camera comes on and now I'm nervous. I am desperately craving a soft pretzel right now. Buttery and salty and bready. I want it, but guess what else I also want? A croissant, light, flaky, also buttery. So I had an idea. Let's see if I can make both at the same time in the same item. Today we are attempting to make croissants or pretzels. What do you think? Which one do you think sounds better? I'm thinking croissants. Anyways, that's what we're attempting to make today. I want the end result to be something that is flaky and buttery and bready and soft and salty with that crispy outside. I just want a really light pretzel that just tastes so buttery throughout the entire thing. Let's make it happen. You like the new animated intro? Heck yeah. I spent all day yesterday coming up with a test written recipe, and that's what we're gonna be trying today because croissants are super temperamental. They take forever to make, so I wanted something that was going to be a lot quicker to make than a traditional croissant, but still with those classic properties of laminating into a pretzel. And my biggest worry that we have to watch out for is overworking the dough, which is going to be so easy to do because pretzels, they just take a little bit of work. Like it's really easy to overwork pretzel dough. So I tried to keep that in mind with the recipe. So this is either going to be like really, really good or really, really bad. I have a feeling that it's not going to be in the middle, and don't judge my KitchenAid. I got her in college. She's really old and she's doing her best. Okay. Let's not judge her for the contents of the outside, but the contents of the inside and how well she works. We have 1 cup of warm water, 1 packet of active dry yeast. I wanted to do half milk and half water, but milk makes things take forever to rise, and I don't have that kind of time. So we're using all water and praying that it will rise in half the time, at the very least at 75% of the time that I had originally written with the milk. Adding in that warm water, 1 packet of yeast. Hello, babies. Make me proud, please. And pour it in. And we're gonna let this sit for 1 minute exactly. All right, it's been a minute. This is what it looks like. Beautiful. Now for the important part, sugar. Sugar really helps the yeast bloom. I'm gonna add in the sugar and then a tablespoon of salt. I did about 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar. Where's my little baby whisk? Oh my God. Can't come with me. Now I'm just gonna whisk this. This is one of my favorite parts because it smells like bread. It smells like a bakery, and I don't know, I love the smell of bloomed yeast. It smells so good. Now I have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour. We're gonna mix in here a cup at a time, roughly. I'm just gonna do it in like thirds by eye. I'm really nervous now. I'm like, there's just so many things that could go wrong, and I need them to go right. Are you ready for this? It's game time. Let me get this flour off of this. I was gonna blow, but you know what? I didn't listen to the voices that time. I'm like, why is there so much flour on me? I did not put on my apron. Here it comes. Slowly, it's starting to form a dough. Isn't she beautiful? I am getting really nervous. I know I keep saying that, but I am. The dough looks really, really dry right now. I'm nervous that my projections for the liquid was not good enough. It's really, really dry. Shoot. I'm about to make a really dumb decision, but I gotta do it. Maybe I should have left it alone. Now it looks a little too wet. Yeah, I shouldn't have added any water. Oh, Lord. I have 1/4 of a cup of flour that I'm going to add in a tablespoon at a time to see if we can get this dough nice and supple. You want to add in a little at a time because you don't want it to be too floury because then it's going to be too dense, which I'm hoping if it is too dense at this point that I can save it with the lamination. I don't know. Add just a tablespoon more, then let it go. Now to know if it's ready, you should be able to take your dough and then press your finger into it and it should bounce back. It's bouncing back a little bit, but I think I want it to bounce back a little bit more. So we're gonna knead it for maybe 1 to 2 more minutes. She's bouncing back. See it again? I'm gonna add just a little bit more flour because the bottom of this is a little sticky. Let's pray. I'm like, how much is this supposed to bounce back? I mean, she's bouncing back. We're gonna leave it at this little ball. Drop it in, and now I'm gonna let this rest for 10 minutes and pray because I'm getting really scared. I think it looks good. I think it looks great. Look at the little baby. It's officially been 10 minutes. Let's see how our baby's doing. They grow up so fast. Let's pop her back in. Now for this part, you do want to have a little bit of extra all-purpose flour on the side because it could get potentially sticky. She's getting a little sticky, so I'm gonna add in teaspoons at a time. See if we can remediate that. The butter is starting to really nicely combine.
I hope you can hear me over this noise.
But either way, I just need you to know this smells so good. Just think of the most delicious buttery dinner rolls that you've ever had in your life. This smells like that times 10. 6 minutes are up. It's actually a little sticky. BRB. All right, now the test to see if we're ready to move on to the next step. I'm just gonna use my hands to kind of form it into a ball. Now to know if we're done kneading, if I push my finger into this, it should slowly bounce back. Looks slow enough to me. I think I'm pushing too hard. Yep, she's slowly moving. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but she is. Now I'm gonna lightly flour my workspace. Drop the ball on. Now I'm gonna use a super sharp knife to cut right down the center and across. I learned this tip from Claire Safit. I said her name wrong, I'm so sorry, but it is going to help it rise in a rectangular shape. I think I did that a little wrong, but that's okay. Now I'm gonna take my little baby and put her in there, seam side down, open, slit side up into our bowl, cover her with some plastic wrap, and now we're gonna let her rise. And now I'm gonna be following the advice of Claire when she made her croissant to leave this out at room temperature for a little bit and then move it to the fridge to let it finish rising, have a slow rise. So we're gonna do a room temp rise for 30 minutes and figure out what to do with the fridge rise from then on. All I know is I want this to be at least double in its current size. So take a snapshot of what that looks like and I'll be back in 30 minutes after I've let it risen for 30 minutes. See you later, alligator. And I'm back. Our dough has 1.5 times its size and we're gonna move it to the fridge so that it can continue slow rising. I need to go to the grocery store to pick up the groceries for next week's meal plan. So toodaloo, I'll be back in an hour and a half. I know, it's a lot of hurry up and wait, but to me it's an hour and a half. To you, it's probably like 2 seconds. Next clip. My time, it's been 2 hours. I let it proof for about 30 minutes longer just cause I was hungry and I wanted to eat because I haven't eaten all day. But let's get our dough out of the fridge and hope for the best because now I'm really nervous that me wanting to eat messed everything up. And before working on the dough, I have 2 sticks of butter, unsalted butter, that is sitting at room temp so that we can do a shortcut lamination because I'm not doing that whole freeze a block. I'm not doing that. So that might be my demise, but I'm not doing that. So we're gonna see how I can make it work otherwise. Let me grab the dough. I think she looks great. Isn't this beautiful? Wow. And you see how it kind of rose in a way that when you flatten it, it makes like this beautiful little square. That's what we want. It is beautiful. I'm gonna use the heel of my hand to press into the dough. The dough is like really, really soft, but I just wanna press it to stretch it out. I'm gonna flip it. Now we have a beautiful square. It's nice and stretchy. Wow. Now, the rest of the process, I'm actually terrified for because I just don't know how this is going to work. Yeah, we're going to combine a few different techniques to hopefully get the result that we want. I still want it to have that nice, buttery, soft element of a pretzel. So we're not just taking croissant dough and forming it into a pretzel and then making it a croissant that way. Like, I want it to really be the essence of both baked goods in one. So this is where our decisions really matter. So I have this piece of plastic wrap that we used to cover it while it was in the fridge. And I'm gonna make another about this size as well that is made. I'm also gonna go ahead and move this bad boy out of the way because I feel like she's just taking up some elbow space. You know, one of my biggest fears is picking this up and then it's on the open thing and then I crush my fingers and I can never cook again. I'm gonna take this first piece of plastic wrap, place it down. And I'm gonna take that other piece, stretch it out because I literally balled it up and place it down perpendicularly. If you have like industrial plastic wrap, then you should be fine with just like one really long one. Now we're gonna take a little square, pop it right into the center, like this. Now let's wrap her. I'm gonna give it just like a little bit of extra, extra. That's what we want. Now we're gonna use gravity to seal her in. Get ready for lamination. Now we're just going to use this to press and lightly roll, not pressing down, but pushing forward so that the dough expands in the plastic wrap. You see how it's filling up those corners really nicely? This is making me super hopeful. She's perfect, just like you. We have a beautiful rectangle of dough. Now I think I'm gonna go ahead and grab my quarter pan, pop it on here, and then place it in the freezer for it to firm. Because to do the croissant lamination process, I know that it has to be like really cold. And I know that I'm gonna want the dough colder than the butter, which is gonna happen regardless with like the way that I'm deciding to laminate. I know everything sounds like a question right now, but it is because I am questioning everything. So I'm just gonna shake it to see if I can get those edges even more crispy. To the freezer. Now while that chills, I'm gonna take my softened butter and put it in a bowl. I saw this on TikTok a while ago and said, wow, this is perfect for me because I hate laminating croissants and puff pastry and all of the above. The idea is that you take softened butter and laminate with that and then freeze the dough for a max of 30 minutes. And I understand that if this fails, it's because of me, but I'll still find a way to blame something. A lot of butter, and I really hope I'm not making a mistake. Now I'm literally just gonna smush them together so it's easy to spread. Wee. Now set it aside. Let's grab our dough out of the freezer. I don't know why I'm talking in this like it's a tutorial and I know what the heck I'm talking about because I really don't. I guess I'm just faking it till I make it. She's nice and chilly. I'm going to beat her out. That sounded really violent. I'm gonna roll it out. I mean, you really like hit it to roll it out, but you'll see. Well, yeah, let's move on to the next step. Gonna lightly dust my surface yet again. I'm gonna lay that in the flour. Boom. Gonna lightly flour the top as well. Now, when we expand it, we want it to expand this way and not really that way. And then push. I'm really trying to emphasize pushing and not pushing, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna expand it as far as I can on my cutting board. Now, let's say a moment of silence. So she's hanging over the edge a little bit, but that's okay because we're gonna fold her in. I think she looks gorgeous. Just gonna use my hands to straighten up these edges, make her look as sharp as I can. Now for the part I'm really nervous about because I think this dough is absolutely beautiful. Spread it all over the middle. So imagine this is in like 3, right? Like I'm trying to like center it here. Oh my gosh, if you're a baker and you're watching this and judging me, like please just let me live. Let me experiment with things I don't know how to do. Isn't that the fun of life? You think I'm doing a good job? Just spread it. Get this. So now I'm gonna fold the ends of this to the midline of the dough, turn it 90 degrees so that the seam is facing away from me. Then after turning it, roll it again, fold it in the midline once again, and then do that one more time, but don't roll it out that time. We're gonna leave it in the stack, like so, like that, and pop it to chill for a little bit longer. And now I'm definitely starting to panic. But at this point, all I can do is trust the process. I'm going to take that plastic wrap that we previously had. I'm gagging from anxiety. And I'm going to put this seam side down in the plastic wrap. Wrap her up. Place her back on that sheet tray. Beautiful, beautiful dough. Now to finish out our shortcut lamination, I'm gonna let it chill in the freezer for about 20 minutes. I'm really nervous about the moisture of the dough at this point. She's a little dry. I didn't think I had that much flour on my board, but I'm realizing that I might have. I mean, if it's dry, I probably did. But I'm hoping that it being wrapped in the plastic wrap and then chilled will make it condensate a little bit and wet the dough a little bit. So to the freezer. Now while that chills, I'm gonna go lie in my bed in fetal position and question my existence. That's a joke. 20 minutes is up. Let's take a moment and take a deep breath. And get this dough out of the freezer. Let's see what she looks like. All right, first impressions. I think she looks really good. She has like solidified a little bit, but I'm really hoping that the ice crystals formed in the dough with the little bit of time that it was in the freezer will create a really moist dough that is moist enough to outdo how dry I feel like it's looking right now. But honestly, I feel like it's kind of fine. Now, while I prep that, I want to get some water simmering. So I'm going to put this on the stove back here and get this simmering. You want it to be like a nice, good, movie-like simmer. I'll show you what that means. And again, I'm following some tips from Claire Safitz. Never had to say her last name out. Me and my friends refer to her as Claire, like we're friends with her or something. I know that's kind of weird, but we do. So I never really say her last name. Anyways, we're following her techniques for the proofing with her croissant recipe. I'm hoping that that is going to be my saving grace with these and that they taste good. Because what if they're nasty? Now it's time to roll this out once again for the final time. Cut our ropes, roll them, form our pretzels, and let them proof for an hour, maybe 2. Let's get rolling. Take this plastic wrap off. And now I'm gonna roll a little seam side down so that hopefully the moisture is gonna be okay. All right, that's fine. We're gonna just keep pushing through. I literally have no clue how many pretzels I even wanted to make going into this. I mean, it's cracking, but it's like sticking together pretty well as I roll it out. So hopefully that's a good sign. I can literally see like the butter deposits all throughout it. So hopefully that's also a good sign. Like you see those butter deposits all throughout. Can you see that? I have my handy dandy pizza cutter. Now I'm going to pre-mark them, so like just to see if I like it and see how many we'll get out of it. 2, 4, 6, 10, 12. So if I do this right, I should get 12 pretzels of varying sizes. So pizza. I just want this to be good, and I don't like being wrong. Let's cut as straight as we can across here. Cut. It literally wouldn't be a Hungry Mockingbird show without technical difficulties. My camera died while I was cutting and getting the footage, but this is what it looks like after I've cut it with my handy dandy pizza cutter. And we're going to start forming our pretzels and get this simmering water in the oven. Our water is not quite done simmering yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this whole thing in the fridge just to let it cool for a little bit longer so it doesn't get too hot and mess up the lamination process if I haven't already. Don't come for me for putting my cutting board in the fridge. It'll be in there for like 5 minutes. Let's go. That was a Mario impression, not an Italian one. The water now has a beautiful simmer. We're gonna pop this in the oven. This is how you know I'm going crazy. There's a tortilla on my pizza stone. I know why, because I put it there. But why did I do that? No need to panic. Everything is okay. On. No! And close her up. Don't open it, Taylor. Future Taylor. Let it close. Leave her alone. Also, forgot to mention, my AC went out. And I was just bragging about how cold it got in Texas and how you should make my hot cocoa. Now my AC is out and it's hot because Texas decided to say, oh no, well, let's make her a liar. Sheet tray. Parchment. Now we have our beautiful little baby. Well, she's a little tiny, but it's a pretzel, right? Let's try this again. So roll it out, stretch it just a little bit, take it, twist it around itself, and then bring it down. Okay, so these aren't as big as I thought they'd be, but that's okay. Roll the stretch. I'm taking my hands from the inside to the outside, really stretch it out. It's even longer this time. Heck yeah. Roll from the center out to really stretch it. Bring it over here. Loop-de-loop. Fold over. Cute. Okay, I need to hurry. I'm moving so slow right now. Don't judge me. Actually, judge me. I don't care. What are you gonna do? Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, I gotta show you this one. Baby girl is looking fly. Look at that. Wow. I did that. I think I'm gonna place these in the freezer one last time because I think I'm heating up my butter too much. In the freezer, these go. I'm gonna be absolutely heartbroken if someone's already done this before. But you know what they say? Great minds think alike. Now let's get this in the fridge to chill. Order up. Come on. Just gonna let those chill for 5 minutes. I have the one that I just did in the freezer because that would cheat tray fit. And I have the other one that I did in the fridge. And I'm hoping that the time difference will kind of offset them a little bit with the temperature difference. We'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording for 5 minutes. So transition. 5 minutes is up. Show me your plates. All right, let's pull these out of the fridge and the freezer. Here we go. Let's hope that they both fit. It's nice and warm and humid in here. Oh my gosh. Heck yeah. You can literally see the humidity. That's what we want. I have to kind of stack them up on each other, but it should work. It's officially been an hour. Let's get back to work. I'm gonna let it proof a little longer because my gut is telling me to, and I'm gonna listen to it. But while that does its thing, we're gonna get our baking soda bath ready and the egg wash. And then cinnamon sugar. But I need to look up how to make cinnamon sugar pretzels. And if you just like butter them before bake, I just need to see what that's like. I know you put the cinnamon sugar on afterwards. I don't know. I need to consult the internet. I've consulted the internet, and basically what I'm going to do is egg wash them, butter them afterwards, cinnamon sugar them afterwards. Yes, but I'm going to salt the salty ones before. I think I want them to bake with the salt on it. Yeah. Hopefully there's enough gas in here. If there isn't, it's okay, because I have another one. All right, let me get this cranking on the highest heat it'll go. It's on, it's cranking. Half a cup of baking soda going in. Bring it to a boil. Now while that's getting ready to boil, I'm gonna make the egg wash. 1 egg, 1 teaspoon of water. Scrambled, that's all you need to do. Now the reason I add a little bit of water is it helps to truly blend and emulsify that egg. It just makes it a lot more smooth so that you can use it as an egg wash and it's not so stringy. So just keep whisking it until it's nice and loose and combined. The water is boiling. Let's take out the croissants / Cretzels and see how they're looking. My heart is going to be out of my chest. I just want this to be good. I just want it to be so good. I just want it to be so good. Okay, let's get these boiled. But before I get this started, I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees, maybe 425. I think I'm going to do 400 first. Yeah, I'm going to preheat the oven to 400 degrees. Anyways, let's dip them in, hold for 20 seconds. I'm going to do 10 seconds on each side, pull out, brush with the egg wash, and bake. Sound good? This is not looking too promising. I'm not even going to lie, I'm about to start crying. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's not looking very pretty. Let's pull it out. That is a fail. That is hideous. Oh my gosh. Okay. I am literally struggling. This is where I think I'm going wrong. I think I'm agitating it too much. I think what I need to do is just drop in the whole parchment paper. Remove the parchment. I can literally see the butter floating in the water, which is not a good sign. Scoop it up, flip it, Take out the parchment. I don't know, the other batch looks so much better. The second one, I think I'm at the point where I have a mental breakdown. I mean, I know there's a bunch of people watching this like, yeah, duh, that wouldn't work, but I really thought I could make it work. We're gonna do half of these flipped and half not flipped. So this is not looking promising, y'all. Like, it actually looks really bad. So I'm gonna keep not flipping them because I think that looks way better. This is literally what we're working with. Doesn't look too bad, does it? Are you disappointed in me? Let's get these egg washed, half salted, all egg washed, half salted, half not salted, and in the oven. I'm gonna cry. Oh my gosh, what have I done? Maybe there's a reason that this doesn't exist. Good people are watching this like, yeah, that's why we laminate properly. Look, it's called trial and error for a reason. All right, first batch is egg washed. I'm thinking these two are gonna be salted. Maybe these 3 cinnamon sugar, these 3 salted. Or these 4 salted. These, because I don't really want to have too many cinnamon sugar because I don't really eat them. So let's salt these because my salt isn't really coarse enough. Next batch. Egg wash. My babies, I failed you. I'm going to salt these 4 and then leave that. I am genuinely sweating like a sinner in church, but let's get these bad boys in the oven. I'm going to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes to start out, and we'll see how they go. Now they've been in for 19 minutes. I'm going to give them 2 more. We are now at 21 minutes in the oven, total time, probably because there's just so much going on in the oven. They are looking good. They smell even better. I have cinnamon sugar, butter melted, and more salt. I'm really excited that they'll still taste good, even though the lamination process maybe didn't come out how I wanted it to. But I'm still hopeful that it will have the essence of a pretzel and a croissant combined, even if it's not in the way that I initially anticipated or planned for. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to tell myself that so I don't go into a spiral of overachiever, underachieving, you know? Who can relate? And it looks like our final round of baking is done. Let's pull them out and take a gander. Fingers crossed. Let's see what we're working with. This is the bottom rack. Not entirely sure what's happening here. I'm guessing it's because I dunked these whole and only did the bottom of these. That's nice. That does look like a croissant though. Yeah, so it's definitely because I only dunked half of them. But I think that these look pretty solid. Nice and crunchy on the outside. Now let's get to dunking our non-cinnamon sugar one. Take a little bit of butter, cover it in butter, like that. Let's dunk. That is gorgeous. They smell really good, and I'm not gonna lie, these cinnamon sugar ones, they look really good. Maybe this wasn't a complete fail. I mean, we still have to cut into them, bite into them, all that jazz. And just look at that. Let me finish these, and then I'll be back with the final thoughts. All right, moment of truth. I think these cinnamon sugar look absolutely divine. I'm gonna try one of the salted ones that are covered in baking soda. Let's rip it open, see what it looks like. It has some nice pockets, but it's still pretty bready. I do think it's a really nice mix between a bready pretzel and a croissant. I was actually not expecting it to be like so soft and like flaky, like the folds, like you can actually like peel, you know, like it doesn't look like a traditional croissant. But like if you showed me this and said, what is this? I wouldn't say pretzel or like regular bread. You know, I'd be like, I don't know. Now for the taste test, because it doesn't really matter what I think it looks like, it matters what it tastes like. So we're gonna try the salted one first. It actually does taste like butter croissant and soft pretzel. Oh my gosh. Now I'm curious to know what the ones that weren't dunked on both sides taste like. So let's do that. So, beautiful bottom. That's a lot better of a lamination than this one. Like it's nice and flaky. Let's taste. Now this one does taste a little bit more like a croissant. Like it has like more of the essence of a croissant. Wow. Cinnamon sugar time. I'm gonna try this one. I love the bottom of this one. I know it's gonna be crispy and have those nice, beautiful folds. Wow. Like it's pretzels, but you can tell it's also not pretzel. Let's try it. Cinnamon sugar. That's insane. Okay. They might not be super pretty, but these are bomb. And I was about to start crying. I really thought that I was going to be having a breakdown right now. Now, there are a few things that I think I would do different, and that is obviously not have my AC be broken, because making croissants, anything laminated in 80-degree room that is also muggy and humid, not the move. That just had the card stacked against me in the first place. But also, I do think that when I try this again, I will see how it compares to doing the traditional lamination technique where you make and freeze a block of butter, then laminate it that way. But I think those are the only two things that I would change. I think it tastes like a pretzel croissant. Like it's really buttery, it's savory, it's light. Like most pretzels are really dense, but this is incredibly light, which is probably also a little dangerous because that means that you could just sit and eat a lot of these, because at least pretzels get you full. This could potentially get you full, but not as full as a regular pretzel because it is so light. Wow. I truly think that this was like an 80% success. I thought it was going to be like 20% success. Like, I think they could look a lot prettier, but even then, if I saw them exactly as they were in a cafe or something, I would order them 1000%. There's still a lot that I would change, but I don't think this is a complete fail. And I'll still post the recipe so that you can try it at home, or you can see it and let me know what changes you would make that I could make to make this better, because I'm not ready to give up on this recipe yet, because I think this is genius. Thanks for watching Trial and Error. I hope you enjoyed this episode. There are many more episodes to come. Happy New Year. I'll see you next time. Mwah.